Shalom, shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom. All glory, honor, all glory and honor goes to Salaki, to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai by Shem Rakakwadash. Yahweh is the Most High God, and Yahweh Shai is who the world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ. Rakakwadash in the Paleo Hebrew is the Holy Spirit. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who've been ruling well through the Spirit, teaching His word and believing His word to the best of their ability. Lord willing, the Most High can continue to put in their spirit to endure and to be sincere. In the mighty Shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth, teaching His word and believing His word to the best of their ability. Lord willing, the Most High continue to put in their spirit to endure and be sincere for His truth. Shalom to the Akwathium that are married and single, that are true believers of His word. Lord willing, the Most High continue to put it on the women's spirits to pursue to be a loving and silent and a virtuous wife. And Lord willing, the Most High have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. You see the title. This is part one. Back to the basics. I was, to be honest, I was inspired to do this. What? Really, last week Tuesday, and the past few days, I've been seeing brothers, especially in Great Millstone. I think I always keep seeing, the elder brother, the elder priest in my congregation, Shem Yawala. He will always go back to the basics. And it hit me because I started going back to the basics for myself. So I feel like, going back to the basics, right? Because and sometimes it could be new sheep that come to hear the word. So some people be wanting to knows the ins and out, the beginnings. So I'm gonna start right here with Isaiah 28, and I'm gonna start at verse 9. It says, "Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Then are them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast." So it's some that's in the milk, that's in the basics, right? And then they leave that they're drawn from the breast. Then when they drawn from the breast, they start going into harder things. Let alone when we look at verse 10, that's how we read the law. So then, because precept means law, we would have to do the same format when it comes to the other breakdowns which are within the scriptures. So verse 10, "For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to his people." And the number one language in the earth would be English. That's that stammering, that dumb language, right? Now, when you look at this in the NLT and the GNT, it even says letter by letter. So just like what the apostles do and many other, the men of the Lord, they get the homology of words. Because even in the prologues of Sirach, it tells you when things were translated, that they, miss certain words, especially when you're translating it to a pure language, to this language, and then it finally get to this dumb language, you know. So Isaiah 28 verse 9 in the NLT, it says, "Who does Yahweh think we are?" They ask. "Why does he speak to us like this? Are we little children, just recently weaned?" He tells us everything over and over. And this is another reason why you have to know you're going to always read. If the Spirit is in, you're going to always read. We kept going over sin over and over again. That means we have to come back to the Lord over and over again, but stronger and mightier, more sincere. So he tells us everything over and over. One line at a time, one line at a time. A little here and a little there. So now The Most High will speak to his people through foreign oppressors who speak a strange language, right? So the Lord is going to speak to us through our oppressors in a strange language. So we'll even see the prophecies on how our oppressors is moving. But look at us now. Man, I'm telling you, a real Jake that's really in these scriptures, they can pinpoint everything in history through the Bible, right? But reading this in the GNT, Isaiah 28, verse 9, they complain about me. They say, who does that man think he's teaching? Who needs his message? It's only good for babies that have just stopped nursing, right? And that's the best thing about Yahweh Shem Shai's ministry. It's for the babes. That's why you in order to really get these scriptures, you have to come learning like a babe, willing to to change, willing to be converted, because it's easier to lead a child and mold a child. You know, that's why you think all the elites is targeting children, because it's easier to mold them to, hey, it's okay to do this, it's okay to be sweet, right? So that's why the Lord calls us babes. We have to come back in his truth like babes, right? Now, verse 10, it says, he is trying to teach us letter by letter, line upon line, line by line, lesson by lesson. Letter by letter, we can go by pause letter, or you can go letter by a word, like a letter. Then when you understand, if he's going by letter, you could do a lesson when you get the homology of a word and find out what it means. And then when you go to other verses that might have that same letter, it might go into something different, you know. Then it said lesson by lesson. So through precepts, we can get to understand lesson by lesson. Okay, we want to talk about chariots. You go through precepts. Here a little, there a little, lesson by lesson. Oh, did Jason did the Immaculate Conception, right? You're gonna go precept upon precept, line upon line. Then you might go to a new lesson, salvation. So that's lesson by lesson, to really understand the doctrine of Yahweh Shemel Shai, right? Verse 11, if you won't listen to me, then the Most High will use foreigners speaking some strange sounding language to teach you a lesson. And these fools start teaching us the Bible incorrectly, and we started to believe it, and look where we at now. Then what the Lord did, he rose up Jake, through the ruins, Ezekiel 37. The Lord had the true prophets before me speak to our bones, let alone the men before you and before them prayed for the elect to come back to the Lord. So through the grace of the Most High that was in the men that paved the way before we got here, they were praying for the elect on this side, the men and the women, you know. So we got that point out the way, right? So that's the precept, line upon line, letter by letter, lesson by lesson. So the lesson we going into the basics. So with this basic, we have to know when Moses left Egypt, who was he talking to? So let's just go to the classic, which is Deuteronomy chapter 1, and we're just going to read verse 1, right? Because it goes into Moses recalls the Most High's commands. So verse 1, it says, these by the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan in the wilderness, in the plain over against the Red Sea, between Paran and Tophel and Laban and Hazeroth and Zahab, right? It says Moses spake unto all Israel. So the more we keep going through this, we're going to see that Moses is speaking unto Israel. Let's see. I want to give you another one. We're about to get into the nitty gritty, right? So I'm gonna read this is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 1. going to Israel, exhorted to obey the Most High. So verse 1, it says, Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live, so possess the land which Yahweh power of your fathers giveth you. Right? So we keep seeing about the commands. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to another classic, because this we will be here long. If I go all the way back to Genesis, where we will understand the oath, the covenant, and the law, how it was broken down from Abraham, Isaac to Jacob. We're just gonna go to the classic Psalms 147. This is Psalms 147, verse 19 and 20. It says, and he showed, because you remember what it says, who would he teach doctrine, right? So verse 19, he showeth his word unto Jacob. Jacob is the father of the patriarchs of Israel. His statutes and his judgments unto Israel, which is the law, statutes, and commandments. He have not dealt so with any nation. As for his judgment, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh, right? So no other nation has gotten these laws, right? So let's go back to Deuteronomy. Let's see, Deuteronomy 33. Let's go to verse 4. Deuteronomy chapter 33, and I'll start at verse 3. It says, yeah, he loved the people. All his saints are in thy hand. The saints is the elect, the children of Israel. And they sat down at thy feet. Every one shall receive of my words. Moses commanded us a law, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. What is the congregation of Jacob? You know, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. What is the inheritance of Jacob? The 12 tribes of Israel, right? Let's go back. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 2. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 2. Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of Yahweh your power, which I command you. And we already read verse 1 where it says, Now therefore hearken, O Israel, right? So it's commandments the Lord wanted us to keep, which we'll understand that that's in the first 5 books of the Bible, right? Salaki family. Let me see if this is the one I want. Is this another one I want? First John chapter 1. Is this the one I need? John chapter 1, verse 17. It says, For the law was given by Moses, but grace and truth came by Yahushua, right? So the law was given to Moses, and what nation does Moses come from? He's a Levite. He comes out of the nation of the Hebrew Israelites. And that goes back again to who was Moses taking out, right? Go to Exodus and you'll find out the Lord sent him to get his people who are Israelites. You know, we're gonna really we're gonna really keep going back into the basics if the Lord will continue to allow me to go back to the basics. So let me see Psalms 103 real quick. Psalms 103 verse 7. I'm gonna read verse 7. It says, He made known his ways unto Moses, his acts unto, let me say it again. He made known his ways unto Moses, his acts unto the children of Israel. Right? Moses was talking to the Lord face to face. None of us can, man, we was too afraid. Moses did that. The Lord said he was going to make Moses a god to Pharaoh and Aaron a prophet. So who is Yahweh? Yahushua is a prophet, but Yahushua is a god. You know, Yahweh Shai comes in the power and the wisdom of the Most High. But this is just showing you, back when we went to Psalms 147, showing you that the law was given unto Jacob and given down to the patriarchs, the 12 tribes, who all the black Latinos and natives descend from, right? That's who we descend from. Okay. So we went to Deuteronomy. We went to the 4th chapter. And then it's just like each chapter, again, it's Israel again. Here we go. This is Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 1, when Moses recalls the Most High's covenant, right? And Moses called all Israel and said unto them, Hear, O Israel, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your ears this day, that ye may learn them and keep and do them. Where are the other nations? Because we just read in Psalms 47 that those were only given to the children of Israel. So he's telling us to keep his statutes and his judgments, which he would speak in our ear, which are in the first 5 books of the Bible, right? Let's get another classic to go back into the basics. Let's go to Salaki. Second Ezra, the 3rd chapter. This is Second Ezra, the 3rd chapter, starting at verse 35. I'll start at 34. I'll start at 33. I'll start at 32. Salaki, it says, Or is there any other people that knoweth thee besides Israel? So this is Ezra asking his angel, because the angel is a messenger of the Lord. Is there any other people that knoweth Yahweh Shem Shai besides Israel? That's a question. Or what generation have so believed thy covenant as Jacob? So what generation? What generation of people believed believe thy covenant as Jacob, the covenant of the Lord, and yet their reward appeareth not, and their labor have no fruit. For I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth and think not upon thy commandments. But we did have Israelites that became heathen. Now we can't. Yes, they left the Lord. Now we talking about people that never been with the Lord, right? As a nation, one point at a one time, did any nation as a whole know the Lord's covenant and walk in it? Verse 34, it says, Weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance, and there's also that dwell in the world. So shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel. So the name of Yahweh Shem Shai right now is hidden, but the name of Yahweh Shem Shai is only found in Israel. It says, Or when was it that they which dwelt upon the earth, which we have 18 nations, some people want to say 27, but 18 nations in the earth. Ecclesiastes, the 4th chapter, tells you that none of the nations are done away. All the same nations of old is still here. Or that's Ecclesiastes 3, right? So it says, Or when was it that they which dwelt upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have kept thy commandments? So he's asking, what people have not sinned in thy sight? And what people kept the commandments? Here's the answer. However, thou shalt find certain people in Israel who have kept thy commandments, but thou shalt not find any among the heathen. Any among the heathen that kept the commandments. So no nation outside of Israel kept the commandments. And even as Israelites that are Gentiles, but if we trace back into history, back through the line, all Israel was following the Lord at a point, because all Israel left Egypt. Yes, a lot of Israel left the Lord and started worshiping a damn calf. But in multiple times, we had Israel that a whole group of the whole 12 came back to the Lord, and then we fell off again. It's like a teeter-totter, right? This is the basic, man. We're going in the back to the basics. What did May say in the song? Welcome back. You know what I'm saying? we're at Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 1. It's just How I'm going to basically is showing you each chapter is leading towards Israel. If the first verse started off like everybody want to say context, keep going through that whole chapter yourself. The first verse, this is Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 1. It says, now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahweh your power. So who is the commandments, statutes, ordinance to? We seen it. Psalms 147. It's to Jacob, and to his descendants, right? So he says, which Yahweh your power commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whether ye go to possess it. You know? So while we doing the will of the Lord here, it's all for us to get our land. We just want to obey the Lord now. All them times we didn't obey him, now we can come back and try to be a doer, right? Verse 2, that thou mightest fear Yahweh thy power to keep all his statutes and his commandments. Remember, Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1. He was speaking to the children of Israel. Nothing changed. Which I command thee, thou and thy son and thy son's sons, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged. So we have to teach our sons and tell our sons to teach their sons and then teach their sons. That's how the order goes. Verse 3, hear therefore, O Israel. So this is for anybody. Oh no, he's talking to the whole world. He's talking to everybody. Verse 3, let us know, going back to Deuteronomy chapter 1, Deuteronomy chapter 2, Deuteronomy chapter 3, Deuteronomy chapter 4, Deuteronomy chapter 5. He is speaking to the children of Israel. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe and do it, the law, statutes, and commandments within the ordinance, that it may be well with thee, and that ye may increase mightily as Yahweh power of thy fathers have promised thee in the land that floweth with milk and honey. So now we got to get back to that promise. If you want that promise, work towards it. That's what's working towards that prize. The prize is Hamashiach Yahushai, because he is the father of all of this. He created all of this for us on the behalf of our ultimate father, the Ancient of Days, which is Abba Yahweh, right? Verse 5, it says, and thou shalt love Yahweh thy power with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thy heart, in your mind. You know, it's hard to let it loose when your heart is in it, right? It says, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thy house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou rest up. Now, Lord willing, I can double back on this. I gotta go back to work, but we supposed to be teaching our Israelite children, and we have to know when we go back to Numbers 1:18. Every child comes from the seed of the father, the nut, the sperm. You know, so if that child is a descendant of an Israelite man, I don't care if you're a wife, even a sister, you should be teaching them kids. Your duty is not running around seeing if your man is talking to this or this girl. It doesn't matter. He can have whoever he wants. Get that out your mind. We are aiming for the kingdom. And any man that's putting anything before Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, you're a dirtbag. But Lord willing, I'm praying for you that you get it right. You know, we have to, when we get back into the basics, it really humbles you, but then it lets you know we walked away from this, but then you'll look in the mirror and understand why you walked away. Is because with your flesh is impossible to please the Lord, because you're too busy trying to please your own flesh, please your own desire and needs, right? King Prel said, Shalom, Shalom, brother. He said, that's right, brother. The Messiah said, who teach the law shall be called great in the kingdom, right? So that's why you want to go back to the basics, because then the basics brings you back to Yahushai. It brings you back to Yahushai, because he fully walked in the law. Have you? You'd be like, dang, I didn't. So that's what we trying to walk like our big brother Hamashiach Yahushai. But Lord willing, I could do another video. If I do part 2, the part 2 might be on my actual page, Dargabar 144. So let's just keep it going, keep flowing. This was just motivation. Let's see what the Lord has for the rest of the day. With that, shalom, shalom.